Guys, I've got this Pixio here. They reached out and wanted to send me this monitor to review. So we're gonna unbox it and then I'm gonna do a little review of it. Now, this says front. Wow. That's nice. That looks cool. Looks like a monitor. Does it have VESA? It does. I've never had a monitor with USB-C in. That's pretty cool. So it came with a standard power adapter, an AC power adapter. It comes with DisplayPort. It also has a USB 3.0, it looks like, Type B. And then it has the actual power adapter here. 24 volts, 5.5 amps. So we have USB out to the PC, and we have 2 USB in, and we have LAN. We have LAN on the back of our monitor. I'm assuming that because these are separate, this is just a LAN port that goes to the PC, which is interesting. So this is basically just a USB hub. And then over here, we have another USB port. We have HDMI 2.0 at 144 hertz. We have DisplayPort 1.2 at 165 hertz. Type C, 65 watt power delivery at, what is that, 165 hertz? And then earphones and DC power in. This is fascinating. There's also this power switch here, which you can push in on it, but it also is directional. So I'm assuming that's how you access the on-screen display. This is pretty interesting. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Now, hopefully the actual video quality is good. So this is the stand. And we got some adjustment here, and it looks like it even goes up and down. That's pretty cool. Oh, and then there's a little slot for wire management down here, which is nice. Hello. And we also have a foot. So where are the screws? Oh, am I foolish? I've been looking for the screws. The screws are in it! They're captive screws! I'm so foolish. So you might be wondering, Gardiner, why are you doing this on the floor? And it's because I choose to. I have chosen to do this on the floor because I kind of like being on the floor, actually. That's very simple setup. Now, let's see about putting the monitor on. Ooh. Whoa. It doesn't even need to be screwed in, guys. It just clipped right on. This pops, that lever pops up, and then you just go like that. And you can set it down on, and it clips in. Nice. So the only screwdriver you need is to add the foot to the base. And then you can, oh my gosh. That is freaking neato, dude. Wait a minute, I just realized that the USB-C port does power delivery at 65 watts. Holy cow. Does that mean that we can just use that for the Steam Deck? I wonder. I'm gonna guess that the answer is yes. Oh, the light came on. But I'm gonna grab a Type-C cable. I got my handy dandy Steam Deck here. I don't know if the battery's charged on this. Battery's at 16% on the Steam Deck. But, guys, if my inclination here is correct, we can just plug this in and it will start charging. Hey, it's charging. And then if we turn this on, wow, it just went from 16 to 17. And we're gonna output. I wonder if that cable is not the right cable. I'm gonna find a better cable. Yeah, no signal. All right. Okay, we have a more robust USB-C cable here. Boom. Okay. Now we unplug this guy. Get it out of here because we don't need it. And we're going to plug in this USB-C cable here. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. Look at that. Hey, look at that. Now, the question is, will the USB-C cable also bring in the other set of USB? So I've got my handy dandy 8-bit DOE Ultimate wireless controller, 2.4 gigahertz, and it requires this wireless dongle. So we're going to plug this in. And we'll see how this works here. Okay, so that doesn't seem to be working. So I plugged that into the USB-C port, or the USB port that's next to the DisplayPort and the HDMI. It didn't come with a user manual, but if I scan this QR code, which my phone's right here, you guys are my phone, so this isn't going to work. Let's try plugging the dongle into the other USB ports. There we go. All right, those are going to be over here. Now I'm curious if the DisplayPort and power is the only thing that goes through here. Yeah, looks like it. It's a little disheartening because that means that we can't use the built-in USB stuff unless we put a dongle in here. At which point, I don't think that this would really make sense to have that go to video. So I fully can't control this with that. Yeah, I would have liked it if the USB-C port also fed the USB hub that's in here, but it looks like they're two separate things. So to test if that is correct, what we would need to do is plug in a USB-C hub here and then have the USB-C port here power that. But when we do that, I don't think the USB-C power on the hub is going to activate the monitor. So we would have to have a DisplayPort out to the monitor from the hub. We're going to test that. So this is the OKX guy, and I think that this is just going to act as power delivery. So if we plug this in here, and then we plug this in here, do we even have power going to this? Yes, we do. We have power. But yeah, we don't have a signal now. So that means we need to use a DisplayPort cable. Hopefully, I don't know what the DisplayPort on this is rated, since DisplayPort is keyed like that. Okay. Yep. All right. 2560 by 1440. That's a fairly substantial resolution. Now, we have two options because there's a USB hub on the monitor in the back. So we plug this end into the monitor and then this end into the USB-C hub. And then we'd have a hub connected to a hub, which I'm not keen on. So I'm just going to unplug the guy. And we're going to go like this. And plug this into the USB port here. Now, if I turn this on. Yeah, there we go. All right, that's cool. I don't know why I'm using this piece of trash. I have an official Steam Deck docking station right here. So, and I have this little adapter that came with the kill switch. So I'm going to use that instead. Because I know that this supports HDR output and variable refresh rate. So let's go ahead and hook this up. We're just going to plug that in there. We're going to take this. We're going to plug this in here. And then we're going to take this. We're going to plug that in here. And we're going to take that. And we're going to take the we're going to take this right off because I don't need this right now because I got what I got. Criminy, come off. There we go. All right, so now we have an official Steam Deck docking station which supports VRR and that kind of stuff. So let's turn it back on. Running at 60 hertz. So we're gonna apply this dock firmware upgrade. And then I think it will enable 40 hertz mode. Or 144 hertz. Okay, there we go. Still running at 60 hertz though. Let's go to display. We've enabled HDR. Well, there's no sound, so I wonder if oh, here we go. Enabling FreeSync just did something. Okay. So FreeSync input. Okay. Oh, this has KVM built into it, dude? Whoa, dude. That's awesome. Oops, I definitely want English. I don't speak any other languages. And there's firmware updates too. Cool. HDR. Let's turn it on. I don't know why you wouldn't want HDR on. Oh, that looks so much better. Okay. Great. So we have FreeSync and we have HDR. Let's just play Doom. Because Doom has HDR. Enable VRR. I think this is the first time I've enabled VRR on a Steam Deck. So we're going to go to Settings. We're going to go to Video. I'm going to apply those changes. Yeah, that looks so much better. Okay, and then we're going to go Enable HDR. And hit Enable. Yes. So if we go, yeah, we see we have HDR enabled now. So that's pretty cool. This is 720p scaled to 2840 by 1440. So, or whatever, 2880 by 1440. So it's not going to look stellar. If we can change the if we go here, we can scroll down and we can enable FSR. Hey, that looks a bit better. NIS looks like NEVERMIND. I don't think NIS is tuned for HDR. So now, I mean, it's still, there isn't a lot to work with, but actually That's fine. All right, we're playing Ori and the Will of the Wisps. All right, I'm gonna have to try this on another machine because for some reason you can see the FPS is only running at 30. And I don't know if that's SteamOS limiting it or I don't know what it is. But I'm gonna plug this into my desktop and we'll figure out what's going on here. Okay, we've got the Pixio monitor connected to my computer here. And let's open Steam. Honestly, I think the color looks better on this than on my actual monitors. Now, I'm not the kind of guy, I don't have the equipment to do it anyway, but I'm not the kind of guy who's going to like do all kinds of like in-depth RGB color palette stuff because I don't have the equipment to do that and it's not really my style anyway. I'm just going on what I'm seeing and these colors look more saturated. I don't know if that's exactly what we want, but we're gonna mess around with it. So let's see. Let's try Doom Eternal again, but this time on this computer. I've adjusted the lighting here, so hopefully we can get a real sense of how this plays. And it looks pretty good to my eye. It looks a little washed out on camera, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Shiny pants. Man, look at that. Is that RT? Do I have RT on? Ray tracing is on, yes. Render mode. Wow. That's pretty impressive. Shiny pants. So I mean that's this game. Looks pretty good. A little washed out on the camera, but again, to my eye, this looks better than the monitors I'm using. And can I enable the performance overlay? 209 FPS. This, I'm not, okay, seriously, this feels like impressive. Like this actually, wow, it's super snappy. I'm playing with a controller, obviously, if you can't tell. Guys, we got RT on, everything set to nightmare, and we're hitting 200 FPS in Doom Eternal. I mean, you can't really argue with those results. Look at this RT, man. Like, it's too bad I never used this PC to play games at all. This is mostly a work PC. And I mean, gaming is work for my occupation, but I play on Steam Deck, guys. I don't I'm not a PC gamer. I want to find an enemy and shoot them. So this looks pretty good. I am curious how control looks. I'm curious about viewing angles. Not bad. I mean, there is a little bit of a lower contrast ratio off to the side, but I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, this looks great, right? Like, I mean, this looks fantastic. So we got 43, we got 74, 78, 73. So less than the monitor's refresh rate. However, I'm not getting any screen tearing. Still, we're at 71, and I'm not seeing any screen tearing at all. I mean, the brightness of the screen, like, is legitimately, like, actually making me squint because it's so bright. So, I mean, that's what you want with HDR, right? I like this monitor. I'm gonna use this for a couple weeks, and I'll let you know my conclusions at the end of this video. So I've had fun poking and prodding this thing, if you can't tell. After all, coming in at $349.99 retail, this is unequivocally the highest end panel that I have reviewed, or even used for that matter. Now this is Pixio's top of the line model, and I'm quite happy with its performance. I've had this panel since the beginning of January, and it's handled pretty much everything that I've thrown at it like a champ. As you saw, I got it set up and connected to my Steam Deck. It worked great,
But I realized that the monitor does not actually support HDR over USB-C, so I had to switch to the docking station in order to get HDR output. Then I moved it right here to my desk and got it connected to my PC. Now here's the thing, I've got 3 HDR monitors here on my desk already, but the PX277 Pro blows them out of the water. Higher peak brightness, better contrast ratio, better response times. After a bit of playing around with it on this PC, I got it set up on the medical cart that I have out in the living room for streaming and recording. It's a mobile production cart. It's actually really slick, and I'm going to talk about it at some point here in the future. And this is an idea that I actually got from Wendell from Level 1 Techs. And because this monitor has VESA support, I was able to set this monitor up, mounting it to the VESA adapter that came with the cart. It worked awesome. And this was a huge upgrade from the old TFT panel that I had on here, which had really bad viewing angles. So having this set up out here is just a walk in the park. It's so nice. And I guess now's a good time as any to talk about the specs of this thing. The IPS panel comes in at a cool 2560 by 1440 at a maximum refresh rate of 165 Hertz. The product listing says that it covers 131% of the sRGB color gamut, 96.6% of DCI-P3, and more. It also has a 1000:1 contrast ratio, max brightness of 450 nits. It supports HDR, FreeSync, called FreeSync Premium here, 1 millisecond response time, and it has 2 2-watt speakers. Now, obviously, built-in speakers on a monitor are not something that you're going to want to use for any length of real time, and these speakers lack dynamic range. In a pinch, they work, but you're not going to be using these speakers for the most part. If you are using the audio built into this, you're going to be using the headphone jack in the back. Now, this display is 27 inches diagonally, and it features the aforementioned USB connectivity, as well as USB-C power delivery, DisplayPort, and HDMI. It's worth noting that the manual states that this monitor comes with the stand, 3 M4 screws, a DisplayPort cable, and power adapter. But it also came with a USB Type-B cable and an HDMI cable, as well as what was listed in the box. Now, it says that the monitor supports KVM, but I could not figure out how to set it up. So maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know. And on a positive note, the device shipped with the latest firmware, so it didn't need an upgrade. Overall, the Pixio PX277 Pro is a great monitor. Despite some minor design choices that I disagree with, when it comes right down to it, it does the job well and looks good doing it. Thank you to Pixio for sending me this to review, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.